Hi, everybody. It's Kara,
And Shannon.
and we are bringing you some new stuff for YouTube, our YouTube channel. And just as a reminder, we are both admins of the Which Do You Facebook group. And you can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and we have a podcast on Anchor, but you can also listen to that on any platform that you listen to your podcasts on. And today, Shannon and I are going to show you how to do. Now, this will be my second time doing this, but Shannon's first time. So you'll see that she'll probably do a lot better than me just because she's naturally better at things like this, anyways. But when I did Michelle's shamanic apprenticeship this past year, this was one of the things that we learned during like the Imbolc class. And of course, Imbolc is coming up. It's like February 1st, 2nd. And this is called the Witch's Ladder Basil Booster for Financial Gain. And this is from the book Not Magic by Sarah Bartlett. So this is to make you feel good about your finances, attract financial stability. Basil, of course, is used to purify, protect, prevent financial loss, and to boost your ability to attract positive money-making opportunities. So what you're going to need is we've got like this natural, jute twine, but you can use really whatever you want. But it says, hemp twine, four lengths. Okay, you want four equal pieces. You're going to get some beads that you can string on there. Now, I'm going to reuse the beads that I used last year just because I had a good year last year and I want to keep that mojo going. But mine are just like these colored. Now, Shell, of course, supplied all these things for us since we were in that class, but I really liked these beads. And then Shannon went and picked up her own that are very, very pretty. And then these Chinese coins, you've seen these probably everywhere. You can get them on those little, like traditional, what do they call those things with the red? And they're tied in that like really
Yeah, and I don't know the
pretty,
name
it's another not
of them.
magic thing.
Coins?
Yeah.
Yixing coins.
Yeah. And then you're going to need, of course, fresh basil. Now, after you have this done, I bought a plant for this, an actual basil plant that's doing pretty well. And you can see that to transport it over to Shannon's, I had to come up with a really good way. That's a wet paper towel and whatever, but it's doing pretty good. Doesn't it smell wonderful? So, and later on, after you've done this, of course, your basil's going to dry up. You can also add dried basil and or basil essential oil to kind of like,
Boost it a
boost
little
it
bit?
throughout, I've had mine up for a year. So anyways, you're going to take your four strings and just kind of tie a knot in the top, okay, to start with. Oopsie, I think I might be missing.
I feel like you saying that I was going to be good at this kind of jinxed me
Oops,
because
I'm
I've already
sorry.
tied my finger into it.
Well, maybe it's going to add money-making opportunities to your actual finger. Wouldn't that be something?
Okay.
Shannon's, of course, got her special, like ceremonial scissors here because we are going to make sure that we ask the basil plant which leaves we can cut off to honor it before we destroy it, which we're not going to destroy it. But okay, so then you're going to take a piece of tape and tape that down so you can work. You want me to tape yours over here?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And then all you do is just like braiding. You can start, get all your strings all sorted out here. Now, I'm going to be honest, there was probably a certain way. I'm pretty sure she had us watching videos. Uh-oh, this cat is going to go bonkers over this. I even gave the whole roll to him, but he doesn't care. How to do four. I'm just going to go with it. There was probably a video involved. You can probably look it up. This is actually called the 4-strand flat plate. I don't know, look that up. But I'm just gonna start braiding like over and over and over with the various strings, okay? So then basically what you're going to do, I mean, I'm not going to actually sit here and make you watch the entire thing, but, start braiding. You'll see it starts to kind of form, one of these. I certainly wouldn't want my hair to look like this. Mm-hmm. But once you get down a little bit, you can start putting your beads on. Your beads and your coin.
Does it matter
whatever
what you start with?
No, whatever you are called to put on here. And I'm just going to say, like when I was doing this last year, see, your braid already looks a lot tighter and cleaner than mine, that's cool. But anyways, like I have a couple blue, a couple pink, and a couple green. And these all kind of represented different things for me last year. Like the green obviously just represented flat out like money, The blue was more like having prosperity and health matters. And the pink was kind of like just luck in, relationships and familial, just getting along for the year. Because as we all know, at this time last year, we still are, in the midst of a pandemic. Although things aren't quite as ridiculous as they were this time last year. So you're just going to do that. You're just going to keep braiding. I don't know if you can see or hear the cat, but he's doing
his own magic.
Yeah, he's doing his thing over there. That's cool. But I just keep feeding these things together. And I've made quite the knot at the bottom. But then you're going to also string on some of your, did you say these are Ishang coins?
Mm-hmm. I think that's the proper pronunciation.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say I am terrible when it comes to like Eastern, like Asian
pronunciations.
Just stuff like that for different traditional things. Terrible. Although I will say, I have had, besides this, I have also had one of those, like I was talking about earlier, with the red rope. And it's really like braided beautifully, and it's got a bunch of the coins. It's like there must be a certain number, and it's probably a traditional thing that people hang up in their homes. That's what I've done. I hang it by my front door. And this is actually where I put this thing too. I had this draped over like a picture in my front entryway, where I also have my cinnamon broom over the door. And I'm just trying to welcome all sorts of good things into my house on a yearly basis. So, Shannon's doing really good here. She's got hers nice and tight. Mine is going to look about the same as it did last year. Do you know what this kind of reminds me of, too? And I will say this. I think it's making a comeback. It's macrame. I have seen that. Like, I was just at Walmart the other day. As a matter of fact, I was just kind of taking a gander at what beads they had to see if I wanted to maybe change mine up. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's macrame kits. And I will tell you what, I actually kind of want to do one. Now, Shannon and I are sisters, of course. We grew up together. And our mom was the macrame queen. She used to have like these girls' nights. Well, now I wonder exactly what they were doing. But she did do some pretty involved macrame things. There was... Remember that 3-tiered shelf thing with a lamp in it?
I actually wish we still had that.
I do too. And there were like towel holders, and I have seen, there's one thing that I've seen that I really, really want, and I want to make it myself, but every time I look it up, it's like, you get it and it's already made. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Oh, he got me. He just came and got me on my lap. It's like a macrame shelf. I know that sounds weird. The shelf part isn't macrame. The shelf part is like an insert. But it's like a macrame thing that you put up on your wall. And it's really kind of cool looking. And of course, with all the plants I have now, it probably would be a cool thing to have some macrame, plant holders. We had one for the longest time that my husband's mom made. See, back in the 80s, that was a big thing to do.
Yeah,
macrame.
Late 70s, early 80s, everything was...
Well, probably those women wanted to do witchcraft, but they were so oppressed. They got together and macrame instead.
And probably we're doing a whole lot of knot magic in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly... Oh my gosh, Shannon. That's exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing it secretively. They were doing their knot magic secretively. Meanwhile, women's husbands, oppressive misogynists, were dropping dead and leaving insurance policies fulfilled from here to kingdom come. Anyways, so yeah, my please don't look to my method as any kind of
example.
The good thing is nobody's going to be calling me anytime soon asking me to braid their hair. So, that's cool.
Yeah, my fingers are not as nimble as they used to be. But
So you're going to, I'm going to kind of cut this short. I will finish mine, of course. I probably will end up redoing it because it looks so terrible, but... So you'll tie it off, okay, at the other end. Just loop it. And you can make these as long as you want. You can, have them that long. You can have them 6 feet long and hang them up over your curtain rods or whatever, which would be really cool. Hang them right straight down your wall or whatever. Of course, if you have a cat, trust me, it's not something you really want to do. So anyways, then you're going to take, I'm going to take Shannon's ceremonial scissors here, and you're going to take some really nice, and I am going to say, my poor thing really needs to get back in the window at home. She's just getting a little droopy. That's all right. But we're going to take a handful of leaves. Oh my gosh, you're actually making me hungry. I'm going to cut these ones off because if you can see, I've got quite a few new growths in those areas, so I think those are good ones to cut off because you're kind of pruning it. So I'm just going to take a few. Shannon, help yourself to a couple, whichever ones you think. I feel like I really like the idea of taking the ones, see like this where there's the new growth.
Mm-hmm.
So you take a couple and you smell it. Oh my gosh, they smell so good. And you're just gonna weave this right into your braids. And let me tell you, I do specifically remember that my house, when you walked in for like 2 days, smelled like I had an Italian grandma.
Oh, now I'm wishing my braid wasn't so tight, because now I might have a little trouble getting
Put it through your
there.
coins. I did that last year.
Oh, okay.
That's another way you could do it too. You can just stick them right through there. Actually, let's go this end first and just kind of pull them through there gently.
I can even tuck this into the bead, maybe.
Yeah, and tuck it in. And just do as much of that as you feel like you need to throughout. And then like I said, mine, I just draped it over like a picture that I have hanging up in my entryway. And these dried out, and then throughout the year I would take it down. And I don't have any basil essential oil. I have time, but I don't have basil. So I just took dried basil and kind of laid this on my counter and sprinkled a little dried basil on there and, got it in there and then let it sit for a little bit. And sometimes I will even put this in my window to like let it recharge in the sunlight.
Oh, this just smells so good.
Yeah. And then I hang it back up. And it's, like I said, it's been up there for a year. So that's how you do that. We hope you guys enjoyed this one. We are going to be working on a couple more videos for you guys. Shannon and I just want to say quickly, I don't know where I put it, but I bought this date book. Here it is. I bought this, the Llewellyn's, I don't know if you can see that. There's probably quite a glare. Llewellyn's Witches Date Book for 2022. And, I like to write my bills and stuff in here, but this is a really cool, I don't know if you guys have ever gotten anything like this, but this also has not just the monthly calendar, but it has the daily planners, and so it'll tell you what, where the moon's at, what horoscope sign it's in, color of the day. It'll tell you when the moon is void, and just a bunch of different things. But there's also, for every Wheel of the Year celebration, there are a couple things like this one says Beltane charm to tie the knot. And I will see you Clover prosperity bath. Did I just say that word right, or did it say prosperity? Prosperity. April moon water consecration. There's a whole thing in the front that I thought was really interesting about the different new moons. This is all about doing new moon magic and where they are throughout the year and what they mean in the different signs. And just the goddesses and crystals that you could use to do magic, and it talks about the elements. There's also a little section about the traditional. It's really cool. I have to show you this. I would definitely go and order one of these if I were you guys. Using elements to aid in your magic, so that goes through all the regular elements. And this, which I thought was super interesting, this was traditional Chinese energies, how to empower your magic, and that's heat, cold, wetness, dryness, and I know there's windiness, and that's it. I think that's it. But it's just really interesting. So Shannon and I thought that what we would do this year is right before each Wheel of the Year celebration, we're going to go through this, and it might be a recipe for food, bread, probably. It might be a ceremony. It might be just a simple spell. It might be a simple chant. But we're going to go through and put together some videos for you guys and post them here on YouTube for different Wheel of the Year celebrations. And those will kind of go along with, we will also probably try to do a podcast before each Wheel of the Year celebration, kind of talking about how you can, just ideas for how you can celebrate, what they're about, how you can celebrate them. Just suggestions, of course, because we're Witch Do You. And we hope you enjoyed this.
Blessed be, witches.
Blessed be. Thanks for joining us.